Bear with me. Let's see. Hang on a second. Folks, this is not the one. Let's see if this is working now. This is not the one. Okay. Delete this. Trash. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what is going on here this evening, but I am now live again, and I've got sound. This is the craziest thing. I'm using the same software, the same setup. I come in this evening to do exactly the same thing. Everything's already preset, and there's one option that is already missing that golly, that I can't use now to pull up my news. I'm gonna have to figure out where it's gone. It's just gone. And then my sound wasn't working, so I do apologize for that. Give me just 1 minute before we jump in. I knew it was gonna be rough tonight, man. But I am back. I am going to. I knew it was gonna be rough. Great. Thank you. Just hang with me for 1 second. Let me get this set up because this is crazy. I don't understand how I can have everything set up and it just does this. So just give me 1 minute. I do apologize. It's like taking 2 steps or 1 step forward and 2 steps back. I'm telling you, it's just absolutely nuts. However, we're fixing to kick this thing off, and while I'm doing this, we are going to take some phone calls tonight. So I hope that people are ready to call in. I'm going to start with the first person. Well, hang on 1 second. If you don't mind, just help me share this. I'm only going to be able to share it one place. Man, I'm telling you what, it's like the whole world is against you when you're trying to do this crap, man. Anyhow, so we're going to be taking some calls tonight. Let me go ahead and get ready to set up my first one. Anyway, you just have to bear with me, y'all. This is crazy. I don't understand how things can get so out of whack, man. But we're trying. Hey, it is what it is. So tonight I named the stream America is Beyond Saving, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try. So what do I mean by this? I'll explain. Okay, my phone input is on. This stuff's got me all hot and bothered. Okay, so here we're gonna start. What do I mean by America is Beyond Saving? All right, what I mean by America is Beyond Saving is that it really doesn't matter at this point what we do. Like, things are rolling at a crazy rate. Let me just stop for a second. Lord help me. So just one little hiccup like this just screws everything up. So I've been thinking a whole lot. I had a meeting last night. It was a good tactical civics meeting. We met up in Chattooga County. There was a few people there, several smart people, and we're moving along with things. People are just trying to fight. And there's a very smart gentleman there who we've been talking quite a lot lately about what things that we can do. And he said something to me last night that I wanted to share with y'all, because there is major legislation moving forward. There's all of these things going on that we are currently witnessing in our government and in the world. And he said a really good comment to me last night. It has had me thinking about it all day, right? He said, even if you could get things 100% the way you wanted, even if you could get everything right and get everything like going in the right direction and fix some of these wrongs, you've still got to deal with the rest of the population. You still have to deal with the crazy people in this world. You have to deal with the denigrated culture that we are living in, right? How are you going to stop? It's the same argument that people like me that with the Second Amendment, guns don't kill people. People kill people, right? Doesn't matter what kind of gun laws that you try to come up with or school zones and no shooting, people are still going to do those things. They're not going to follow the law. And so it's had me thinking for just ever since yesterday about like, hey, where we're at now in this country, and this is not going to be doom and gloom because we're going to be taking some phone calls, but where we're at in this country, I don't think that we can go back in the culture, in the civilization. Like it's too far past this point, like the Shakespearean play, 5 acts. And it doesn't mean that it's not worth saving or it's not worth trying to fight, right? I'm not telling everybody to give up. I'm not telling everybody to just disregard it, but it's a matter of priority. It's a matter of priority. We're going to continue to fight and do all these things. And I keep seeing posts about the president this, president that, this person's running, that person's running. It's just politics as usual. I keep seeing posts about every single day about why the Republicans aren't moving along with impeachments and oh, it's a revelation that Hunter Biden, they tore up the plea deal today. And we look at the movies. Sound of Freedom. Oh, it's just a QAnon, extremism movie, but Barbie is what you should go see, And you look at the music industry. You look at this country singer who comes out with this simple song, "Not in My Town." We don't want any of this stuff in my town, and they're defending the stuff that he's talking about. They're defending it every single day. You look at the military-industrial complex. You look at how this country is so corrupted and founded on corruption. I mean, we could go on and on. I really wanted to lay out things about the Tavistock Institute tonight, the 60s, MK Ultra, how the 60s were pretty much manipulated as a culture war, how drugs were created to control us. I bring up all these things because it's very, very simple. I mean, while we're sitting here with our heads in the sand and all this political culture war goes on and on and on, and we're fighting about who's going to be the next president, like it even really matters. They're still moving along with artificial intelligence. They're still moving along with digital currency. They're still changing the food. All of these things are just sailing right off into the sunset. Nobody's talking about it. We're so busy talking about the latest and greatest things. We literally have phones that are tethered to us that are reading our biometrics and our eyes, and they give us these glorious new apps so that they can curtail us into this future 1984 Orwell society. And these things are just rolling on, and they've got us hook, line, and sinker. We don't know how to make food anymore. We don't know how to garden. We don't know how to live as communities. It's better if we're all just hating each other. So I guess my thought tonight before we go into phone calls is that I don't believe that this country is going to be saved at this current state. I cannot see a way out of what we're doing. It doesn't mean I'm not going to try. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to do everything I can in my power, right, while I'm breathing. But know that your priorities need to be just getting ready for everything that's coming at us. Just getting ready for everything that's coming at us. All right, we could go through a plethora of stuff, and there's so many good people. There's so many more good people than myself that I watch, that I listen to, that I wish that I was a little more intellectual and could lay things out, But I'm telling you, we got hard times coming. Everybody and their brother is wanting to know why gas prices are going up. Are you not paying attention? Look back 8 months ago. Look at the BRICS commodity-backed dollar, or not dollar, but the commodity-backed monetary system that is in direct competition with our petrodollar. All right? All of these things happened months ago, and we're just now catching up to it. And all of a sudden, we're so preoccupied, and nobody knows why gas is going up. We knew that this was going to happen 8 months ago. We knew this was coming. It was all this is the after effect, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody can do anything about it. We're in the middle of World War III. Okay, but I can't see a way out of this, and I'm just going to keep living. But my priorities are very simple. Continue with community. Continue engaging with people. Continue to plan and prepare for worst case scenario situations, which we'll go into more and more. But I'm at my wit's end. I know that there's so many people are fighting. Let me give you an example real quick. Paper ballots. All right. There's a new campaign coming that you're going to be hearing about soon called Paper Please. All right. I'm all for it. because I believe that our election system needs a major reformation. I believe that it's too far gone into one direction where it can be controlled, curtailed. And maybe that's naive of me to think, just sort of simple fact that it's been curtailed for so long. But now that the sores have been opened back up, there's people actively engaging in the election debacle, wanting to strengthen the elections for the people. And then you got this other group over here that says they're laughing. They're saying, ha ha ha, good try. This happened here, this happened there. There's nothing constructive going on here. There's nothing constructive going on in the election situations when you can't even get a judge, you can't even get a jury to sit down and actually look at the stuff. You can't fight a company like Dominion, who's proprietary, and nobody will lift a finger. Everybody is laughing at everybody else. This system is already in place. Donald Trump and Joe Biden have both presidents have taught us one thing. All right, in 2023, right now, July 26, 2023, what they've taught us is that the presidency doesn't matter. Okay, the presidency doesn't matter. Why do I say Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Donald Trump literally had his presidency shut down by COVID. Okay? COVID. Event 201. Go look it up. And we went through 3 years of this crap. And all of a sudden, the minute we decide that we're going to enter into Ukraine, oh, COVID's gone. Oh, now it's making a resurgence, right? Whatever. But you got to understand, Joe Biden is president now, and nobody takes him seriously. He's the laughingstock of the entire world. He is dirtier than the Clintons, for God's sakes, and nobody cares. Joe Biden and Donald Trump have taught us that the presidents mean nothing, that we know that there's a deep state. We know that there are people behind the scenes that are pulling all of these strings, all right? They're pulling at us every which way. They're trying to get us entrapped into this world of craziness. They don't even matter. Who cares who the next president is going to be? Who cares who the next president is going to be? Because they don't even matter anymore. Presidency doesn't matter anymore. And they're telling you this. Should we even have a presidency? Should we even do that? It's all a lie. It's all BS. It's all made up. It's all manufactured, man. And so this system can't be saved. I've tried, to walk this line, and I've tried to just keep my mouth shut and keep going on and on, but I'm not in that mood tonight. Like that, it can't be saved. What we're doing right now cannot be saved. It doesn't mean it's not worth fighting for, but prepare, because what you got is people still trying to win. Well, let me tell you something. They're erasing God. They're erasing Jesus Christ from this country. Okay? The days that we turn on our television and there's a TV show about some guy somewhere eating meat, a steak made from a human, you can't compete with that. This is too far gone. I mean, do you think that your views as a Republican, as a conservative, as a person who just wants to be left alone, do you ever think that anybody's going to do that in the future? Do you think that anybody's going to let you be independent? Do you think that these people are going to let you just live your life? They want total control over you, and they're going to do it as long as you let them. They're going to take over everything. Just as simple as me coming on to the same little program that I come on to, and they've taken features away. Why? I mean, this is the future, man, and I'm sorry, but this is where you're living. This is where we're living. So Brian Queen, I want you to go ahead and call me, and we're going to start this thing off, okay? So I got you hooked in, and you can go ahead and call, and we're going to try this out for the first time. And we'll try to keep the conversation to 5 minutes. I hope more people decide to call in. You can share this stream because I'm done with it already. I can't even do anything with it. I'm lucky to be talking. So if you hear this, awesome. Brian Queen. How are you, sir? Good. I can hear you. Wow. It's good to hear from you. Thank you so much for reaching out to me today. This is just something I wanted to try different, and I surely appreciate all the support that you are giving me. So I believe that you can be heard loud and clear. So what is on your mind this evening, sir? Yes, sir. That's exactly right. Right. They don't. They're laughing at us. It's just it's just a simple fact. You have to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's so many people don't know about the 60s. The 60s were manufactured. There's incredible documentaries about LSD and about how LSD was used by the MK Ultra, the Central Intelligence Agency, to put this out to the population, to the youths, and start these revolutions up. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have their time and their place, but obviously, it's like everything has had a touch by the hand of government, you know? And the more information we get about it, the more we see. You know, the revelation that well, cocaine is the rich man's drug, but crack rock is you know, the inner city, you know, drug, and then methamphetamines is like the poor country drug. You know, all of these manifestations of drugs, and I'm telling you, they want nothing more than to have a drugged up society. Oh, hang on a second. Jennifer is saying that I'm nobody is hearing you. Are you still there with me, Brian? Well, well, you're going through on my end, so dang. I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to figure out because I'm getting you loud and clear. So anyway, please. Okay, good. Jan says she hears you. So if you just missed that, Brian was calling in about how the same sentiment, even though things are this bad, that things are going on, we have to keep trying. Correct, Brian? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in the same boat. I'm always looking for opportunity to sit down with people or move things along with people and to buck the system as much as I can because the system is truly corrupt. And it seems like the more that people get into the system, the more they get bought off, the more they have to go along with the system. Like there's no way out of this system for anybody that wants to do the right thing, right? So it's crazy, my brother. And Jan, she says that she can hear you. Jennifer, can you hear the caller? Just let me know if you can. So, but no, man, I appreciate everything. There's so many good people down here that are they're fighting and they're doing everything they can, you know. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but my message is clear: is that it's going to take people like you and people like me. Right, right, right. They don't show up. You're absolutely right. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, man. But I do know we cannot give up. We cannot give up. Well, good, and I encourage you to because I will continue to do everything in my power to keep people rolling, to keep people rolling, man. I wish I knew. Let's see what I can do here. Brian, say something for a second. Let's see if this works. Dang, I knew this was a bad idea. I'm trying so hard to just do something different tonight, and you're coming in just fine, but apparently you're not coming out on the freaking live stream. So anyway, that sounds good. That sounds good. I appreciate you, brother. All right, bye bye. All right, folks, I'm sorry about that. That was Brian Queen that called in, and I don't know what on earth is going on here, but all of my levels are up, and he's coming through loud and clear for me. But I don't understand why it didn't come through the computer. So this is going to be a crazy one, y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Did everybody hear that? Anybody not hear that? No, he's connected. I've got him connected in the phone, Jen, and I don't know why that didn't go through. But like I said, I'm trying something new. Y'all just have to bear with me, man. Like everything seems to be going through just fine. All right. Let's try this. All right. Does anybody else want to call in? And let's see if this will work. Do you have Jennifer? Why don't you call in and let's see if it works? Hey, Jackie. Anybody else would like to call in? Just go ahead and call the number. We'll try this again because I just changed another setting, making sure that we're good. But yeah, everything's on. I'll put that on real quick. So, all right, let me go back real quick. Brian Queen has been coming to all kinds of stuff. He's been coming to the GOP meetings. He's been to Tactical Civics meeting. He's been really just like getting out there and getting involved, and we appreciate it because I believe that it's always going to be on a community level. I don't know how much longer that we can sustain this government, how things are going, and I apologize too that sound didn't work. But if anybody wants to call in, they're more than welcome to. We'll try it again because I think I got it fixed, but for some reason, man, it wasn't going through, but it's going through now. And I probably won't stay on too late tonight because I've had so many technical difficulties. But it goes back to what I said last week. All right, here we go. We're going to try again. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? I'm doing good. Y'all just let me know if the sound is going through because I've done this 100 times and it's just not working. But can you hear Jennifer? I can hear you perfectly. So, and you're going through. Right. Yeah, he says he can't hear you either. I don't understand what's going on. But, well, crap. This just totally defeats the purpose. Hang on, give me 1 sec, Jen. I wish I could. In fact, I probably will because I don't understand why this isn't going through. 2 input, phone input. All right. That's what we're going to do, Jen. So I'm going to put you up to the phone. How are you? And talk to us.
I'm doing okay, Roy. Getting ready for a little meeting here in City County where we've got Bev Keschel is coming up, and I hope your listeners know who Bev Keschel is.
Right.
He's a military intelligence, very, very smart guy. He's been involved in this fight for election integrity since 2020.
Yes.
Now that topic that some of our friends don't want us talking about anymore.
Right. Right.
So he's coming up here, and I don't really, honestly, I don't have high hopes because I feel like my election supervisor is intimidated by the Secretary of State, and I believe that he feels that he's at his mercy. He's supposed to do what he says instead of what the Georgia Constitution or the United States Constitution says, and I think that's
Right.
happening in a lot of places.
Right. It is. I can tell you just a little bit. I can tell you a little bit of what I've seen. What I mean by this is that the machine is too big, it's too powerful. They're laughing at us. At every single feeble attempt that we the people. And then when you talk about election integrity, you've got so many people out here that are fighting tooth and nail. All they want is transparency. All people want is a fair election. Now, They pick on Republicans for 2020, but the Democrats have been screaming this for 2 decades. Yet now it's a dirty word. It's a dirty terminology. I don't understand it. Can you make sense of that?
The only thing I can say is some people they don't want this to be true. They don't want it to be true that our elections have been rigged and probably been rigged longer than we were ever aware.
Absolutely.
They don't want to face that fact, and they don't want us talking about it. Just like they don't want us talking about geoengineering or these things that they're not following, they're not researching, they're not trying to, they don't want to believe it, they don't want you to believe it, they don't want anybody else to believe it. I feel like everybody's living in zombie land, like, and you're talking about putting God out of everything. We had a real good Bible study tonight, and in Second Thessalonians it talks about God sending strong delusions on people for their lack of belief, and I swear it just feels like we're already there. It feels like that's where we are, and Christians have fallen away from church, and like you said, they want us to be high. We just opened up a new liquor store down here in town, and anybody who's speaking in opposition of it, the lunatics on there are trying to silence any voice of opposition, any voice of reason, because we want the tax revenue, but our taxes are still going up. No matter how much tax revenue we've got, our taxes are going to still keep going up.
Sure.
And we've lost so many young lives in this county right here that I live in just the last couple of years. So many. And it hasn't changed a single heart.
No.
So that's where we are. People are devoid of true human emotion.
They're devoid.
Call me a religious nut or whatever you want to call me, but facts are facts. And people are lacking natural affections. Any mother who can throw her children away and sell her children into human trafficking, sex trafficking, not caring what's going to happen to her child, she doesn't have the natural affections. My mother would have died for me or my brother.
Exactly.
So,
That's the culture we're in.
Terrible bad happening.
Now, even if we right some of these wrongs, what do we do about the culture that's like that? You're not going to change these people. We've given them too much power.
It's not going to change what people are going to have to do. People are going to have to wake up and start teaching their children about God and work on the next generation.
Right.
Because you've got to teach the younger people who He is and that eternity is real, and that we've got two choices, and it is our choice ultimately. We either choose heaven, we choose hell.
Right. I agree. And going back to what you said about election integrity, think about this for a second. If you've got people out there that are trying to make things better, that are trying to make things free and fair, and you've got a population of people who question everything, and nobody believes that things are right, but then you have this certain population of people that are telling you not to worry about it. Are is that you just want people to go along with status quo and pretend like there's nothing wrong? There's something wrong everywhere, in every part of society. Why are we fighting each other on issues like this? Why aren't we giving each other a fair shake and saying, hey, well, if this makes things better, let's be for it,
Those people who are telling us to shut up and not worry that there was no election fraud, they're the same people who walked around with a mask on their face, complaining about it nonetheless, and lined up to take experimental shots without questioning what they were putting into their bodies.
Sure.
Same people.
And LeBron James' son, that was big news. The kid had a freaking heart attack. And when pressed about the myocarditis or whatever that they're actually labeling it, they didn't go the route that, where the science leads, where the truth leads. They simply came out and said, well, it was due to climate change. This is what kind of clown world we're living in right now.
Yeah,
Complete, total denial. I just don't understand this.
It looks just like they're calling everything long COVID.
Yeah.
Tell me, is it long COVID or is it vaccine injury?
Well, who knows? Because guess what? COVID has now made a resurgence. We're supposed to be scared about that again. I don't know. It just seems like every
and whenever research comes out, they're going to say, "Oh no, that's not real. We've debunked that." Just like they debunked the Spanish researchers who immediately came out and said everybody needs to take
Right.
And they claim that, no, that's been debunked. No, it hasn't been debunked.
No.
Ivermectin was effective then, and it's effective now.
You're absolutely right. So.
Buy it from your food store. Whether you believe it or, call me whatever you want to call me.
I know.
I ain't started neighing or growing a long tail or anything, so, I'm still human.
Well, I think.
And I'm still taking ivermectin.
I think my bottom line is I believe that this machine is too big, and I believe that we to people like you and me and Brian, Jackie, we need to be sticking together and just continuing, because at the end of the day, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and as long as we have each other and we're moving forward, we cannot fix this government. All we can do is just keep throwing rocks, I guess.
I think it's going to have to be totally dismantled.
It may end up having to be totally dismantled.
Do we really need them?
No,
I'm
that's the
getting to
thing.
point where I just feel like, and I've been real discouraged today.
Mhm.
I don't know, just you feel like you're chasing your tail all the time.
Mhm.
You have only very few people you can count on to help you in each county. And I see these girls in these election integrity groups, and they are working their tails off,
Mhm.
and they're getting emails and text messages ridiculing them and threatening them and stuff from not from government officials, but from citizens.
I know.
People who live here in the state of Georgia. Why would you ridicule them for facts?
Because I believe the machine is too big, and I honestly believe one reason why the Republicans aren't moving along, like we're seeing this in real time. I mean, like the president, regardless of Kamala Harris, should have been impeached already. I mean, there's more than enough evidence. They keep putting it off. Maybe it's because the whole thing is so corrupt. They're just too afraid that while taking somebody else down, they're going to take themselves down. Like, everybody is blackmailed here. Everybody is a part of this system, and it kills me. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
I've been saying all day, over and over and over. I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't think that this was meant for us to understand, to be honest. I really don't. Because
No, but I do believe that finally some people are waking up, including myself, because I have no idea how corrupt our government is, and I'm sure that I still don't know the depth.
no.
But we've been hollering impeach Biden since 2020.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening, and my God, look at the man.
Right.
Look at his crimes. Look at and they go and raid Trump instead.
Right. Well,
If people aren't awake to the corruption in America by now, they're not gonna wake up.
and that's precisely my point. While we're sitting here worried about Biden, worried about Trump, worried about DeSantis, worried about these politics, Bill Gates has not lost 1 minute of sleep or 1 minute of ground from putting in, factories that are going to be mulching up insects to put in our food. Artificial intelligence is blowing up right now. The Fed now and the digital currency, all of these things are coming our way. We already know in the state of Georgia we're in level 1 of the digital identification system. We've already seen the future. We know what China looks like, Australia looks like, the EU looks like, and we're headed right there for it. And it's like we're preoccupied with all this meaningless bullcrap while they're going to ring us in this system that will surely not let people like you and me and the people in here talking. Nobody's going to allow that. And nobody is going to listen to us because we're now deemed extremists and racist and blah, 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 How do we get, there's no winning from that.
No, I try to tell myself, well, I'll only plan for digital currency so much that I can put money in and pay my bills.
Right.
But that's not going to work in the end.
It's
really
not
going to work,
It's not.
And when I don't do what they want me to do, because I will not comply, I will die a martyr before I comply. And I said any kind of thing in my body intentionally, willfully,
Right.
they'll have to cut my head off first. And I'm willing because I know who the Lord is, and I'm on the downside of my life. Thank God I wouldn't go back to 25 for nothing.
Right.
And I will not comply, and I'll do what I can. I'll fight as long as I can, but I'll not comply. I will not be taking any marks, any chips. I will not be injecting myself with any kind of toxins or poisons. And and between now and then, I'll just keep trying to live my life the best that I can. That's all I know to do.
I believe you're right, and I want you to know that I'm in 100% support, and I am your brother in this fight, and I will be the same way. And I'm not going to comply with this. And we need more people to stand up and say, "Hey, we can see through this BS." You know, every week I feel the same way. I'm covering news and I'm covering these outrageous stories. And when I read that story about on TV, and I'll pull it up here in a minute, but you know, the guy's eating a steak made from humans, and we're accepting that now as television, as entertainment. You know, I can't live in a world like this. You're talking of going back 10,000 years to the Aztec civilizations where they were cannibals and they were eating people, and we're not going to normalize this. I can't live in a world like that. I can't do it. No. Of course. It's a sick, twisted civilization, and anybody that can look back in history and see where we're headed, you know, God help us.
Yeah, one thing, Roy, they pushed God so far out of everything, and they've normalized this hatred for God and hatred for Christianity and hatred for anybody that believes in the Holy Bible. And they don't realize just how spiritual this war is.
Right.
We're fighting on a different level, and I mean, you know, there's more that we can do than just pray. You know,
Right.
We've got to do everything physically that we can do, but we just need to be praying. You know,
Absolutely.
we need to be constantly praying every day.
I mean, the World Economic Forum has said numerous times that they're going to use artificial intelligence to rewrite religion itself. And when they rewrite religion, people will buy into it, you know.
Yeah, people will buy into it. Look how they've thought of everything else.
Exactly. So we are at a dilemma.
I hope that with the COVID and the truth coming out about the biological weapons, that people would wake up. And I mean, some people are waking up, but
They are.
it feels like the majority is still lulled to sleep. And like you said, they want us to be high. They want us to be entertained.
They do.
They want us to be drunk. They want us to be preoccupied. And people fall right into it. They don't, it's like their head is totally in the sand.
They want bread and circus. They'd rather have you drunk and high and out of your mind where you're not thinking. Critical thinking is the devil to them. Well, they worship the devil, you know.
Yeah, they don't want anybody thinking for themselves.
No, they don't.
People are not, unfortunately.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, and I'm going to leave a little bit of room for anybody else that would like to call in. So it's always a pleasure to speak to you, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you for everything you did, Roy. Thanks for always trying to wake people up and encourage people.
I appreciate it. It's wearing on me big time.
I feel you.
All right, have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so once again, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Brian. I apologize. You're more than welcome to call back. If anybody else wants to call in tonight and have a discussion, now I can get you on here and your voice can be heard because all of my technology is failing me tonight. And so I do apologize. It's hard to do new things and try new things and come in and things are messed up. But so, folks, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I just don't even want to cover the news tonight. I don't want to talk about the latest thing. I just really want to hear from people out there. Just how are you feeling? You know, because it's depressing, and I know that what we're talking about is not, you know, oh, it's not great stuff. You know, I think about the things that, well, America's beyond saving. You know, do I really believe that? Well, I mean, if you go back and you just look at history, and you, day by day things get crazier and crazier. We thought things were crazy back in, you know, 2016, 2018. I mean, like I said before, imagine what happens if Trump wins, even if DeSantis were to win, or, Vivek Ramaswamy. I've been watching him, Robert F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy, to me, is the one that's talking the most sense out of everybody. He's talking about things that I've grown up in my adult life listening to and understanding. And man, he makes. Well, of course, I'm not voting for Robert Kennedy, right? But you know, I'm telling you, the man is talking the most common sense out of anybody up on the stage now. But does it really even matter at this point? You know, does it matter at this point? Because I'm trying to sort of distress myself, right? Because I've been in this for a while now, and I've been doing this every Wednesday nonstop. And each week I'm like, well, is this even worth it? You know, is it even worth it for me to do this, or am I just beating a dead drum? And then I do ask people, I'm like, well, how does the live stream? You know, well, you know, you talk a lot about a lot of doom and gloom. That seems like that's all there is around us, and I know that that's not. And what Jennifer said about um, people working really hard behind the scenes, there are so many people working really hard behind the scenes, but it seems like we're getting nowhere. And everybody, nobody in any sort of authority position wants to touch any of this stuff. And I believe people are getting threatened behind the scenes, and of course, why? Because it's effective. I mean, we all know that things are not right. Jennifer, I will share this with you. Um, the what you had posted the other day, which was the Substack. Well, I'm not gonna bring it. I'm not gonna bring up the article because I can't show you, but it was a very interesting Substack on Brian Kemp and how they changed the election board from Kennesaw State University to the Capitol to his position, and then of course he became governor, and then Brad Raffensperger had it, and that's where they came up with Dominion. And there was this, from what I can read from the article, it was a pretty fake outcry of being mad because they weren't counting votes right and all this stuff, but they took the power away from an outside entity, almost like a checks and balance. They put it straight into the state capitol, and from then on we've had all of these problems. And it's hindsight 2020. When you go back and you look and you're like, wow, that really happened. We didn't know about all this in real time. We always get this stuff after the fact, but it happened. There were reasons. There was things done that has led us up to this point, and you can go back and you can connect the dots and you can look at them and be like, wow, I can't believe that things were like that. But they were, and it's plain to see that things aren't right with it. And why on earth are we not trying to fix things? What we don't want to do in this country, we the people were the ones that put this country together. We the people are the ones that put the Constitution together, and the power is supposed to be in the people's hands. We've given these people too much power, too much money. They've been able to corral all these things into an ever more powerful system, a machine that we just about can't fight back. And I've never ever wanted to admit this burn it all down stuff, because that's Antifa talk, right? But I don't know how we're going to survive through this system. We're not gonna. I don't know how without amassing an army of people that are willing to just give it all up and literally just overcrowd. I'm not talking about violence. I'm not talking about war. I'm talking about we've got to have bodies. We've got to have more people getting more involved and be able to show up. It's the same thing I always talk about everywhere else, because I go to the same places with the same people. It's just like talking on deaf ears outside of this, and all the while this machine is just churning and churning, and then we've got all of this digital revolution that's coming our way, and we're ever more dependent on it every single day. I don't see the people talking about this stuff that should be talking about it, because it's almost like the picture is clear to me. So we're supposed to sit here and argue over presidents and argue over politics and argue over the culture, when all of the global corporatocracy corporations are able to move freely and move in this direction that nobody's asking for, that nobody wants, and all it will lead to is complete and total power over every bit of our lives if we buy into it. It's depressing. I mean, there's very few ways out. We have to stick together as communities. I don't know. And when you talk to certain people about it, they don't even know about this stuff. Like, even people in elected positions, they don't know. Banking institutions, people that work in the banks, they don't know. I've shared with you before, the closed door meetings about the first wave of the digital ID that happened, and prepare and this and that and the other. And so what does that mean? First wave, phase one. Well, there's about 3 to 4 phases of this, and we're on phase one, and nobody even knows about it, but it is coming. And I did. You can't trust your government. You just can't. So I'm only going to be on a few more minutes. So if anybody would like to call in, like I said, it's been a disaster tonight, but the the content's great. And Brian, even if you'd like to call back in, and we'll put the phone up just so they can hear you. You know. But I appreciate it. I'm gonna go through some comments. Thanks everybody. I'm sorry about the freaking volume. I don't know why, but everything was completely jazzed up, and I'll have to work through it next week. So, thank you, Brian Baggett, for commenting. Let's see. Brian Queen says we have been rigging other countries' elections for years, getting the system ready to bring it here. Amen. I mean, if we covered this a little bit last week when I shared you the Prime Minister of Italy talking about the same thing, you know, about the immigrants. Is it necessarily their fault, or is it the fault of superpowers going in and setting up proxy governments and stealing all the resources of their land? You know, these people are living independently. They don't live like we live. They live in small villages, and they work off the land, and they get hand-me-downs and do all these things, yet they enslave their children, they enslave their population to dig up diamonds and gold and lithium and all these things so that they can feed the fat cats over here in America and Europe and everywhere else, you know. Is that right? I mean, we're the ones that set up the proxy government in Ukraine. We're the ones that sold them uranium under Hillary Clinton. We're the ones that were provoking Russia with the UN and all of these things. We're the ones that went into the Middle East. We're the ones that are supplying the drugs to the Mexican cartels and the opportunities to bring. We're the ones that are the pedophiles that are you know, sex trafficking. I mean, there's so many things that we are doing. You know, blame none other than ourselves, right? This country, and it's sad, but yeah. So here we are. How many times you tried democracy in another country? We're supposed to be a constitutional republic. We're not even a democracy. That's a dirty word now. But we never tried to set up a constitutional republic. It's always a democracy. Man. It's crazy. Brian says, I agree about being on the downhill side of my life myself, but I worry about the world we're leaving my grandchildren. I worry about the same thing. My children growing up in this world, and they're far more advanced in this technological stuff than even I am. And they use it differently, and they use it the way that everybody else is using it, and they use it the way that the water flows down the path of least resistance, right? So like we've said before, all of these filters and all of these apps, none of this stuff's free. Facebook was the biggest free way to get every single bit of information on us. These Snapchat filters, this TikTok stuff, all this stuff is just empowering AI to be able to do facial recognition, retina recognition, you know, be able to spot you in the middle of the crowd, pick up your emotions. I mean, all of these things, and we're playing right into the hands of them. So, Brian, the machine will shut down RFK Jr. before it's over. You know, at this point, I don't even know if we're going to have an election in the first place. I don't know that we'll make it to the 2024 election because things are so upside down. And does it even matter at this point? Because the military-industrial complex are going to do whatever they want to do. They've got us hook, line, and sinker. We've sent hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, and nobody is batting an eye on this. We literally continue to pass the buck on our deficit, and we're supposed to make believe that it's better so that we can join hands and sing Kumbaya. You understand? Like, what does it even matter? What does it matter when we're letting people go into stores and rob them blind? And what does it matter when people can just go, because you're under the age of 13, you can just take somebody's car. And of course, if you call along based on the color of their skin, well, you're going to be the one arrested. You know, what does all this matter? Why shouldn't I go out and just rob a bank? You know, what does it matter? Like, everything is just to a point of crazy town, you know. So Jennifer says the small wins we're getting should be celebrated, but they aren't enough. We need to see Raffensperger in handcuffs. That's the thing. I agree with you. I think we should see Raffensperger in handcuffs. I believe that we should be able to uncover everything that our corrupt state government has done. I think that we should be have more information and more courts at least hearing evidence and petitions, but they won't do it. They won't do it. They're laughing at us. They're laughing at us. Which leaves a little choice. But I just don't know that we're going to see that. Jennifer Kemp has been on someone's payroll since he was Secretary of State. You're right about that. Not even singling him out. He's been on it. You read the Substack article. I'll post the Substack article yet again on my page because I won't be that active for the next week or so. But I thought it was a great read, Jennifer. I'm glad that you shared it. I subscribed to that guy's Substack because I read all kinds of things on Substack, and it's worth a read. If somebody wants to come debunk it. But it's worth a read, and it's stuff that we didn't know that was going on that we know now of how this meticulous stuff was set up in the state of Georgia. Jennifer, how did he run for governor while his office had control of the election? That's a great question. That's a great question that hasn't really been answered. But I'm telling you, people are uncovering this stuff, and I don't know if it's ever going to go anywhere. But you can't trust these people for sure. They've proven time and time again they're not trustworthy people. And they're all out amassing their own little army of people. They don't care about us. Jennifer, they'll get involved when it affects their homes. That's what I'm afraid of. I keep saying the same thing. Like we warn people and we talk to people, and I know it was scream digital till I'm blue in the face, artificial intelligence blue in the face. Well, this stuff's coming. The corporations are already gearing up towards it. I know companies now that have used the same infrastructure for all of their emailing and their internal storage and their sharing, and now they're going to these cloud shares. Cloud shares. Everything's going to be on the cloud now. Oh, we're going to change the whole thing. It's going to be all digital. Now, these companies, they're well aware of the future. They're well aware of what's going to happen, and they're not telling people, and they want to make you out believe. How many times do you hear the word, oh, that's false. That's not going to happen. And 6 months later, it's happening, and nobody's batting an eye. So that's where it's coming. Jennifer, very depressing, very overwhelming at times. My only peace comes from Jesus Christ. Again, I thank you for that because it's the truth. And I can tell you right now, folks, I don't have peace. I don't have peace with any of this because I don't know what I'm doing week to week, and I just want to stop. Like I'm ready to just quit, like give it up because it's like I can't ever get things right. Now, I'm not, no pity party for me or nothing like that. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, it's so hard week by week, especially things that I really want to talk about, but to be able to sit down and do research. So I end up covering news and stuff, and I'm trying to do things, and it just seems like every week, the way that I got it, I come in, and everything looks the same, but it's completely different, and it just screws me up. But I mean, it's not like Facebook is doing me a favor, or YouTube, or anybody else. I hear these people are making money off this. Talking about how crazy it is right now, how much they're cutting out, how just everything sucks. So I'm not complaining. I'm very glad to be able to be up here and do this, but I don't want to just get into a rut where I'm covering the same thing every single week, And I appreciate it. Jennifer says, don't apologize. Keep doing what you're doing. I am, and there's other people that are just continuing doing what they're doing. But I just wanted to be like real tonight. I'm trying to keep positive through all this, but like, folks, if you're out there, and we need to be past the point of like arguing about presidents and worrying so much about the politics, and because while our heads are in this realm, the things that are really going to affect our life are just rolling on like it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Months ago, we talked about ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is a global. Twitter has just moved to X, the everything app, just like WeChat in China. Like, it's here. It's not tomorrow. It's here already. It's not affecting you yet, and it's going to. Go back to the Canadian protests. What did they do with all the Canadian truckers' money? They stole it. They froze that money. $9 million that people put into a fund for them. They froze it. They took it away. What do you think they're going to do with you? I've got articles here that I can send you out. And it sucks. But like, I don't know. I can't live in this system. I can't just go along with this digital crap and become this, because I know where it ends. And so something's got to give. But anyway, listen, y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I'm well past the time, but the show was a train wreck tonight. But thank you, Brian and Jennifer, and everybody that was in here and coming by. I appreciate it. We can't have those good singers every week, so I'm just trying something new. I'm gonna have to go back and reconfigure everything because this was just thrown up after the first debacle. But yet again, get involved somewhere. GOPs, Tactical Civics, law enforcement, militia group, church. Get involved in the new church. Get involved with your old church. Start telling people. Let's start growing food. Let's start getting back to where we're getting independent from this, because when this stuff comes down, there'll be a big line in the sand. So always reach out to me if you got anything cool going on. Jennifer mentioned Seth Keshel, August 3rd. That's going to be a big one. There's some other things coming up too that I'm going to be posting, and from here on out, I'm going to continue, but I'm really going to try to push like community involvement in things that are going on in your area, because we got to continue to get together, to be together. Paper ballots, please. Paper, please. It's coming. We got to hear these people out. But